And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Genesis 3 verse 15. When God spoke those words in the garden, something extraordinary happened. In the midst of chaos, shame, and judgment, a whisper of hope was born. The first prophecy, the first promise, a light shining in the aftermath of man's darkest moment. The garden was quiet now. The laughter that once filled Eden was gone. Where there was harmony, there was now shame. Where there was innocence, there was now fear. Adam and Eve stood before God, trembling, their eyes no longer radiant, but clouded with regret. The serpent's hiss still echoed in their minds. The fruit's taste still lingered, sweet at first, but bitter now. Sin had entered. Creation had changed. Paradise was lost. But then, God spoke. And his voice didn't carry destruction, it carried a plan. To the serpent, he said, "You are cursed above all cattle, on your belly you shall go." Genesis 3 verse 14. But within the judgment came a seed, a divine code of redemption. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. That was the first gospel. Right there in Eden, when humanity deserved punishment, God promised a savior. A child would come, born of a woman. Not from Adam's failure, but from God's mercy. This child would not just undo the curse. He would crush the enemy's head once and for all. Imagine Eve, her tears falling to the ground that would soon bear thorns. She had believed the lie. She had broken the world. But even in her failure, she heard a promise. A seed from her would bring life again. God was saying, "I'm not done with you yet." And Adam, though broken, looked toward Eve and named her the mother of all living. Even in exile, he chose to believe there was still life to come. Then something remarkable happened. God made garments of skin to cover them. Genesis 3 verse 21. Blood was shed. An innocent life was taken, not as punishment, but as covering. This was the first sacrifice. A shadow of the Lamb to come. A sign that redemption would require a price, and God himself would one day pay it. Through every drop of blood, through every torn veil of innocence, God whispered, "My love will cover you." The flaming sword barred the way back to Eden. Adam and Eve walked out of the only home they had ever known, out into a world wild and unkind. But they didn't leave empty-handed. They carried a promise. They carried hope. Every sunrise reminded them that mercy still remained. Every cry of a newborn echoed the sound of life continuing. Though they had lost the garden, they had not lost God. Centuries passed. Kings rose and fell. Prophets cried in the wilderness. But the promise never died. It wove through the generations, through Abraham, through Isaac, through Jacob, until one night in Bethlehem, it took its first breath. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. John 1 verse 14. The seed of the woman had come. The serpent would be crushed, and hope would rise again from the ashes of Eden. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more biblical reflections from Divine Chronicles. Remember, God still calls your name.